Broken Bow, Nebraska, as previously noted, has an anti-climactic name origin story. A settler found a broken bow in an abandoned Native American campground. Our inner child wants a more dramatic reason for the intriguing name, so we make up stories in our mind. Perhaps there was a battle there, and the natives lost because their chief's bow broke and he had to surrender. Or perhaps the natives met with the new settlers and promised not to raid their town and broke a bow to symbolize their desire for peace. But no, it's the most mundane possible story. Someone found it in a garbage dump. Since Morning Minutes in the Bible on An American Missionary is about the Bible and not name origins of obscure American towns, you may be wondering why this is the second video that began with a discussion of Broken Bow, Nebraska. It's simple. There's a line in the Old Testament book of Hosea where God promised to break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel, Hosea chapter 1, verse 5. That is an interesting statement in a fascinating story. Previously, we talked about the background story of why Hosea was told to name his firstborn son Jezreel, Hosea 1 verses 3 through 5, and promised practical applications later. So today we do as promised. Now obviously America is not the modern version of Israel, the chosen people of God that is. Need I remind you that we're not a Christian nation? Just because our founders used a lot of biblical principles in their explanation of the goals for the new nation does not make this a Christian nation. There were plenty of biblical doctrines that were overlooked because of the inconvenience obedience would have caused. Peace with the natives, ending slavery and the abuse of women, children, and the poor, to name a few. However, don't seize that point to assert that we're any better today. We've just swapped one kind of approved sin for another. And be aware, the new kind of approved sin looks a lot like the reason God was going to break the bow of Israel: unrestrained spiritual and physical adultery. Liberty was never intended to be a license to do whatever we want religiously and call it Christian, or to sleep with whomever we choose as long as it's consensual. Yet that's where we are. And the subsequent breakdown of societal order with all its chaos is a direct result. When we voluntarily break the bow of law and order and societal restraint, we should not be surprised when God's eternal principle of you reap what you sow becomes the harvest. Romans 1 verses 18 through 32. Absolute individual liberty is not the opposite of slavery. It's just a different version of it. And sin is a more cruel master than the worst antebellum slave owner. Just because we voluntarily sold ourselves to it doesn't make it any better. Thankfully, Jesus gave himself to die in our place and free us from sin and Satan's cruel slavery. Will you turn from Satan's garbage dump full of broken bows to the Savior and his sword of truth? It's your choice. Thank you for watching Morning Minutes in the Bible on An American Missionary. By the way, I'm taking a few days off, so feel free to look through the previous videos while I'm away. Until next week, this is James McClenny hoping you have a great day.